Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So today we'll be doing a Dwayne Wade build, so make sure he's a shooting guard and we'll move on to the body settings. So for Dwayne Wade, he's listed at 6'4" on basketballreference.com, so that's the height we're going to go with, so make sure he's 6'4". In terms of the weight, we are going to push the weight down to 175, which is the minimum. You know, he was called a Flash for a reason, so we definitely want to maximize that speed. And then for wingspan, we are going to push that to 7'1". So that's just to push block rating up, because for someone that's 6'4", he averaged over one block a game a lot of seasons, and I think it's close to that for his career. So he definitely blocked a lot of shots for someone that was 6'4". So we definitely want to push that wingspan up. Body shape's up to you, and we'll move on. Now, he was primarily a slasher. He wasn't a great three-point shooter, even during the three-point era, which he played later in his career when three-pointers became really prevalent. He still wasn't a great three-point shooter, so we want to get as much finishing as we can out of the build. So we're going to push close shot to 80, which is pretty good for a 6'4" player with a 7'1" wingspan. You should be able to beat a lot of other small guards down low. Driving layup, we're going to push to 83. So you can stop at 80, that gets you to the silver layup badges, but at 83 you just unlock an extra badge point. So I've pushed that up to 83. You'll also get a lot of the animations at 80 as well. For layups, now for driving dunk, you know, he's had some of the most monstrous dunks of all time. You know, the dunk on Anderson Varejao where he sent him into the net, the ring, you know, stand. The dunk on Kendrick Perkins where he did the spin move and then just slammed it with two hands in his face. That's one of the most incredible dunks I've ever seen. I don't know how you spin at 6'4", jump straight up in the air and dunk it over a 7-footer. I don't know how you do that, but somehow he did it. And it was just amazing. So we definitely want those elite contact dunks. Now, he did have an ability to post. You know, a lot of his points definitely came in the post because he was so strong. He could definitely take little guards down to the paint. So I've pushed post moves up to 56. So that just gets the post badges bronze. So back down punisher, drop steppers bronze, post spins bronze. We do have hook specialist silver because of the close shot. So you can definitely take advantage of some post moves against little guards that won't have any strength or post defensive badges. So you can definitely put on bronze back down punisher and use that to great effectiveness. But that'll be all for finishing. Now for shooting, like I said, he wasn't a great shooter, so I'm not going to upgrade this a heap. So for mid-range shot, we're just going to push it to 81. He was a good mid-range shooter, so I did want some mid-range capability. It's not great at 81, but you do have the Hall of Fame sniper and other badges. And then for three-point shot, we're just going to push that to 74. You know, he rarely averaged over 30% from three during his career, maybe later in his career, but definitely earlier in his career, he wasn't a very good three-point shooter. So you may be able to hit with this from the corners if you're open, or if you get some hot zones, but shooting won't be a primary method of scoring. I just wanted it there so you had some sort of capability, particularly if you know a really good jump shot. Now for free throw, I'm just going to push that to 77. Just the points I had left, I could get it to 77. And he wasn't a great free throw shooter. He averaged sort of mid-70s during his career, so I think it's pretty realistic. Now for playmaking, he did come in as a point guard. He was playing point guard a lot during his career. So we're going to push, even though he was named as a shooting guard, he played a lot of point guards. A bit like Allen Iverson in that sense, where he was a shooting guard, but he really played as the point guard. So we're going to push pass accuracy to 86 just to get that extra badge point, as well as the gold bullet passer. And for ball handle, we're going to push that to 86 as well. If you do go to 85, you will lose a badge point, so make sure you max that out. And then speed with ball, unfortunately, you can only go as high as 91. So you are already at minimum weight. And in order to get the Hall of Fame quick first step, which I would have loved for this build, you have to drop it to 6'3". But at 6'3", you lose a lot of things that I really wanted for the build. So unfortunately, I went with 6'4". You won't have the Hall of Fame quick first step with this build. I couldn't find a way to glitch it either. So we're just going to push speed with ball to 87 to get those 30 badges. And that'll be all for playmaking. Now for perimeter defense, he was a really great defender as well. But for perimeter defense, we're just going to push that to 85 to get that gold clamps, and then push steal to 86 to get that gold pickpocket. Because he did average a lot of steals, he was, all defensive team, 3-time all defensive or something like that. So he was a great defender. And in terms of block, he did average that block a game for his career. So we're going to push block to 66. That's just for the extra badge point. And at 65, you get intimidated silver. So that can be really great to have. Now for physicals, he was called the Flash, and I would love to have maxed these out to like 90 something or whatever you can get it to. But unfortunately for the layout, it was quite attribute dense, the layout. So I've just put speed to 84 and acceleration to 84. So you still be pretty quick, but you won't notice that you're blisteringly fast, which is what you'd expect with a Dwayne Wade build. But it's just something I had to sacrifice to ensure that I had the attributes that I wanted. But you still be pretty fast. Now for vertical, we do want the 85 vertical because you do get the small contact dunks at 6'4". That's the tallest you can be and still get the small contact dunks. So you'll have all the contact dunks you can get at 6'4" with this build. So the smalls, the pros, and the elites. So make sure you get the 85 vertical. Now for stamina, we're just going to chuck the rest on stamina for 89 stamina, and that's the build. So in total, you have the 26 finishing, 21 shooting, 30 playmaking, and 19 defensive badges, for a total of 96 badges on this great defensive, playmaking slasher type of build. So this is a real throwback to those playmaking slashers, two-way playmaking slashers that really dominated 2K a few years ago. This is a lot like those builds. So you still got a decent capability to shoot if you're open, but you got those contact dunks, really quick off the dribble, great defense, can block shots, and still pretty quick around the court. So it's a lot like that build. But we'll take a look at the badges, the takeovers, sorry. Now in terms of the takeovers, I just chose finishing moves. That was his primary method of scoring, finishing through contact. Then pull-up precision, particularly those Miami Heat days with LeBron. I watched a lot of Miami Heat back then. He was quite good at pulling up in the mid-range, so we definitely wanted that takeover to try and help out that shooting. As you can see, you've made a two-way slashing playmaker with shades of Bradley Beal, Desmond Bain, and Terry Rozier. But we'll take a look at the badges now. Now for finishing for Dwayne Wade, things like Giant Slayer and Fearless Finisher, definitely what he was about. He's 6'4", but he could take on those big centers and throw it down over the top of them. So we definitely want those. He's a real good post player. Back down punisher on bronze and drop stepper can really help dominate against little guards. Chuck in hook specialist, you can hit some of those hook shots. Posterizer, slithery finisher, and limitless takeoff definitely, because he was a really great slasher. And you chuck on bronze unstrippable with that to make sure you don't lose any possessions. In terms of anything else, for Dwayne Wade, he was particularly good around the baskets. Grace under pressure might be a good boost to have. Acrobat, definitely hit those reverse layups. You could definitely throw down some putback dunks. In the last two, you may just want to boost, through finisher to Hall of Fame, or maybe limitless takeoff. You've got fast twitch there. That could be a good one to have bronze. And then for the last one, maybe teardropper if you play a lot of career. But he did have a nice floater, so that could be a good layout for Dwayne Wade. Now for shooting, like I said, he wasn't particularly great 3-point shooter. He was quite good off the dribble. So I think maybe if he were to play today, he might have, improved his 3-point shooting a bit more. So, off the dribble stuff like circus threes, set shooter, stop and pop, they could be good badges to have. Strippy off ball's really great. Mismatch expert, hot zone hunter. He was incredibly clutch. He's one of the clutchest players of his generations. Put that on. Chef. You got that sniper. You can get that gold. You may want to tinker with this. If I was doing a realistic Dwayne Wade build, you'd probably want to drop these to bronze, these off the dribble stuff, and then use it for other things like Deadeye, Green Machine, difficult shots because he was good off the dribble, fade ace because he was a lot of big post player, and then with the last two you may just want to upgrade sniper. He wasn't particularly good off the catch, he was more off the dribble type of player. Maybe drop that down, get volume shooter on silver because he was a primary scorer, so that could be a good shooting layout for Dwayne Wade. Now for playmaking, he was, get that gold bullet pass, but he was really fast and people couldn't stay in front of him. He broke a lot of ankles, could chain moves together, get that triple threat juke to help with a bit of speed. Unpluckable, stop and go, goal quick first step. He played point guard a lot, so, needle threader bronze, diamond bronze, get that glue hands to help not lose the ball on catches and things. Get that tight handles for days. Then you may want to upgrade handles for days of gold, or get downhill just to help with speed out in the open court. Just make sure you never get caught up to. But that could be a really great layout for Dwayne Wade. And then on defense, like I said, he was a 3 or 4 time all defensive team player. So you definitely want that clamps, averaged a lot of steals, so you get that interceptor and pickpocket. Could definitely get chase down blocks, get the chase down block to get animations. Get that tireless defender on bronze to help with stamina. And then from there, it's really up to you. You could upgrade interceptor to gold and put on intimidator silver. You may want to turn that off, put on interceptor silver so you can get the pick dodger on gold. That could be a good thing to do, and then maybe put bronze intimidator on. That could be a really versatile shot blocking guard type of defender for Dwayne Wade. All in all, that's the build. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a really great day.